I think I can get over it. I just need to chill out. I frogged everything and I reknit the body because I wasn't happy. And I started knitting another blue stripe and I ran out of yarn. Aggressive look I have in mind for this design. This was easier to spin for me. It's my favorite yarn. Hi, my name is Maya and welcome to episode 58 of my knitting podcast, where I share all my thoughts, process and other random stuff about all things fiber related, but mostly knitting. Today is the 6th of August 2025 and I'm coming to you from the French-speaking part of Switzerland, where I live with my gecko. This is actually pretty hard to say, French-speaking part. I mean, to say not too fast in a way that's understandable, so maybe nobody never understands what I say. I say French-speaking part of Switzerland, where I live with my gecko. So, today's program, I don't have that much to show because I knit a lot, but I also frogged a lot of what I knit, so I don't have a ton of progress, even though I did knit a lot. Anyway, I don't have any finished objects, but I have 2 works in progress, and I have some spinning. I did quite a lot of spinning, I'm pretty happy about that, and some acquisitions. For once, I think the last time I had acquisitions it was a month ago, more than a month ago, so yeah, I've been good. And that's it, I think. Yes, so let's start with what I'm wearing, which is, as usual, covered by my hair. This is actually the finished object I had in the last episode. This is the Gress tee/vest/tank by Rebecca Clow that I test knit for her. It came out 2 weeks ago, or last week? 2 weeks ago. I test knit size 2 for her, and the yarn I used is Trio 2 by Isea. I think I even have a tag. I do! So it's this. And it's a blend of linen, cotton and lyocell. It's a fingering weight and it's very summer friendly, but I had some leftovers from another test knit and I didn't know what to do with the yarn, so I decided to use the leftovers for this, which is why it has stripes, because I had like a ball and a half left of each color. And it was already finished in the last episode, but I fixed something because I really didn't like it at all. Basically, one of the modifications I did was that I replaced all the edges. It's supposed to be 1x1 ribbing. You can either have a T version with like small sleeve caps, or a tank top/vest thing that I have here that has 1x1 ribbing on the edges, but I did I-cords instead. I think it's just more summery that way. I think ribbing is for big, chunky, warm sweaters for the winter time, and I don't understand the concept of ribbing on summer garments. It's just in my head, it's like that. I know it's me. Anyway, I replaced them with I-cords, but the neckline is designed to have ribbing, so it was quite open and it was supposed to be filled in by the width of the ribbing inside. But since I replaced that with I-cord, the opening was just way too big. So the fix I did was that I unraveled my precedent I-cord edge. I picked up a lot less stitches and I redid the I-cord bind off. And now the neckline is the perfect size. Actually, I couldn't have gone any smaller because it's already quite difficult to put on. However, I'm still not a fan of the whole garment. I still think the whole shape and vibe is a bit weird because it's like lacy, lightweight and summery and cute, but the shape is very straight and rectangle and like, I mean, straight and rectangle, there's no other way to say it. And I just find the combination of the cute, lacy, lightweight fabric with this shape is a bit weird. I don't know, it's like ribbing is not for summer. There is a concept that doesn't really vibe with me, but I think I can get over it. I just need to chill out. But yeah, I'm not 100% convinced by this thing. Also because it requires quite a lot of effort to make it work, because as you may see, I have put like a, how do you call that? A bandeau? Can you say bandeau in English? It's like just a tube of fabric to cover what I need to cover because I don't wear bras. And I hate wearing that. Like, it's really bothering me right now. I just want to take it off. It's ugh. So that's already annoying. But also, I have to wear it tucked inside because if I don't, like here I'm wearing a super high-waisted skirt. My belly button is here. And like that, I think it looks cute. But if I don't do this, I look very rectangle. And I think it's absolutely not my kind of style. It's just even more rectangle. So I'm just trying to add a bit more shape to this thing by tucking it inside completely. But then it means I cannot wear it with any type of bottom because I need the bottom to be pretty high because this is not very long, so I need something pretty high if I want to tuck it in, which limits quite a lot what I can wear with it, which makes it a very unpractical piece. So yeah, I just don't need unpractical stuff in my wardrobe. But that being said, when I finished fixing it last week and I tried it on, I still hated it, pretty much hated it. But I figured I'm just gonna block it and see if it helps. And I had already blocked it before, but I re-blocked it after redoing the front, redoing the neckline. And also this type of fiber, so the linen and cotton, the more you wash it and the more beautiful the fiber gets. So blocking it twice was actually helpful. And I think it's a lot better overall. I could wear it out. Before the second block, it was an absolute no-no, but now I think I could pull it off. If I forget the fact that I need to do a lot of effort to make it work. But actually from the back, I really like it. I think it's super cute from the back, like this. I already mentioned this a lot of time, but my back is a lot wider than my front. So the fit on the back is very different. It looks like a tank top here. And I think that's pretty cute, in my opinion. I don't know what you think, but yeah. I was looking in the mirror before filming and I was like, oh, I wish it fit me on the front like it did on the back, because I prefer it. If it was a bit more like this, like a bit more shaping here, it would be a little bit less boxy, square and rectangle or whatever you want. And it would just be a little bit cuter, I think, than just... Anyway, you get the idea. So I think I was about to frog it or donate it, but now that I'm trying it on again, after having fixed this and blocked it a second time, I think I'm gonna hang on to it and maybe do the extra step of sewing a piece of fabric or something here so that I don't have to wear the actual bandeau thing underneath, so that it's a bit more comfortable, and then I will see. It's very difficult to motivate myself to do something I really don't want to do, like sewing a piece of fabric or knitting lining to put inside, if I'm not super excited by the rest of the finished object. But there is a world in which adding this piece of lining inside can make me super excited about the finished object. So maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, that's where we're at with what I'm wearing. So right now I'm going to cover it with my hair since they are here. It looks super cute like this because I cannot see the armholes that are too straight like that, so we're good. I mentioned a few times that last week I fixed this neckline, but I fixed a lot of stuff. It's also a reason why I didn't knit a lot, because I spent a lot of time fixing a lot of stuff. I think I fixed 4 different garments. This one, a sweater, another tank top, and I partially fixed 2 other things. And I just wanted to mention something because I left you on a big cliffhanger at the end of last week's video where I was fixing all this stuff, which is this one. Yes, it's the same yarn. It's my leg stripe tee. And I wanted to lengthen the body because it was a little bit too short, but I wanted to use up the leftovers for a whole garment before deciding if I had enough yarn to lengthen this one that I made last year. And I had leftovers, so I unraveled the bottom hem of my t-shirt. I started knitting another green stripe and I started knitting another blue stripe, and I ran out of yarn. I didn't have enough yarn left, but I didn't realize it. So I had to unravel the swatch of this one, and I got this much back. And that's where I left you on the cliffhanger from the last video. Will this nugget of yarn be enough to finish this blue stripe? I have three rounds left. 3 rounds. I still don't know. I can't like give you the answer of the cliffhanger, or how would you say that? Whatever, la chute. Je peux pas donner la chute de l'histoire because I haven't touched it. Because I was powering through what I'm going to talk about next, so I haven't touched it. So unfortunately, I cannot release you from the suspense from last time, and I just wanted to mention it so that you don't scream for it in the comments asking for the answer. Did I have enough yarn or not? I don't know. I cannot tell you. Alright, let's talk about my work in progress, which is not here. This is a design of mine that I'm currently writing up the pattern of, and it's a cardigan, except it's completely rolling on itself. I should grab a hanger. Yes. So this is the White Day cardigan. It's a V-neck cardigan, but yeah, I'm in the middle of the process of kind of everything, so it's a bit difficult to show. It has it's a saddle shoulder construction, but it's a bit special. Usually when you do a saddle shoulder, you do rectangles of fabric on the top of the shoulder, and then you pick up and you do short rows to shape a slope here of the shoulder. But in this case, I did shaping in the saddles in themselves, and when you pick up from the saddles, you pick up absolutely straight and you just knit straight, and you don't have to do any short row shaping. I love short row shaping, but I just wanted a change for once. And the saddles join at the back here, so that the back neck is higher than the front neck, because that's how you achieve good fit with the garment. And last time, in the last episode, I had just joined, I was about to say in the round, but not in the round, I had just joined at the underarms, and I had just started knitting on the body. And in the meantime, what I did is I knit almost the whole body until down here, and I frogged everything and I re-knit the body because I wasn't happy. Basically, I did a little bit of shaping because this has a lot of positive ease. It's like 25 centimeters, so that's 10 inches of positive ease, so it's a lot. So I was wondering if I should maybe do a little bit of body shaping so that it's a little bit tapered, and I did that, but I didn't like it. So I just frogged that and I started over by knitting straight, and I just finished the bottom hem this morning, and as you can see, it's not ribbing because even if it's not for summer garments, I still don't like ribbing. So when I can, I will avoid having ribbing. So this is a folded over stockinette hem, and it has a little bit of decreases. I think you can kind of tell. There is a little bit of decreases before here. It's not blocked, so it's kind of visible, but once blocked, it's going to be a lot better, I promise. So that the bottom hem does pull in a little bit inside, because since this is not ribbing, if you just knit in stockinette with a smaller needle, it's going to be just straight. And I wanted to have the slight rounded look at the bottom, so I had to do decreases. Now, the sleeve, I am going to frog it completely because I'm not happy. Let me explain. Okay, but first, I completely forgot to tell you, the main selling point of the design is, sure, the saddle shoulders, but also this tuck detail at around the armhole, because this pattern is the big sister of the Nuit Blanche tee, which is a design that's currently in testing, and that will come out in 2 weeks. Couldn't believe it. I was looking at my calendar just before I started filming, and I was like, what? 2 weeks? So the Nuit Blanche tee is coming out in 2 weeks, and this is the big sister pattern. So it has the same tuck stitch detail on the armhole and long sleeves instead of being a tee, and the construction is completely different. Anyway, I did the tuck stitch detail, and then I did the sleeve cap, and I don't know what happened in my head, but I did something completely dumb, because the saddle shoulder has a certain width here. When you finish the shaping here, you leave those stitches on hold, and then you pick up the stitches around the rest of the armhole, you put the stitches on hold back on the needle, and then you start working the sleeve in the round. No, not in the round, you do the sleeve cap first. And when you work a sleeve cap with short rows, you start at the underarm. I mean, there are a few different ways to do it, but the way I did it in this pattern, you start at the underarm, you knit until the top part of the shoulder, on the back of the shoulder, and then you do a short row turn, and then you go back on the opposite side, you do a short row turn, and then you start working the sleeve cap like this, and you do rows longer and longer each time, so that you build up a little piece of fabric, triangular piece of fabric like this over the shoulder, sleeve, cap, so that the sleeve, when it comes out of the armhole, is angled like this. Because if you don't do a sleeve cap, the sleeve will stick out like this, and that's not a good idea, because as you can see, the shoulder is sloped. So if you have the sleeve that sticks out like this, I cannot show it like this, but sticks out from the shoulder with this angle, and the shoulder is sloped, you can see a weird bunching of fabric here, and it's ugly, and yeah, whatever. That's why I have a sleeve cap. However, the dumb thing I did is that, so the saddle shoulder ends here and here, and instead of doing the first short row turns right at the tip of this edge, so here, I did them inside here for some unknown reason. I don't know if you can tell, but there is a short row turn here and another one here, which means that when I'm wearing this, I will try to put it on. I'm super hot, but I will try to put it on anyway. So when I'm wearing it, there is a bump here. Like, what? There's just a little bit of extra fabric at the very tip here of the shoulder, and it makes this little bump. And it's just because of the 2 extra rows I have that's between this point and this one. I just shouldn't have a triangle of fabric here. The short rows should start down here and down here. And it just makes the whole sleeve not fit great at all. It looks ugly. And yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know why I did that. It's not even what I wrote in the instructions of the pattern. I just don't know what happened in my head. So I need to frog the whole sleeve to fix this little thing. And yeah, there is also a little bit that the fabric is not blocked, and this yarn and fabric is very stiff, but I have the swatch that's blocked here, and this is very drapey, very soft, and yeah, it's absolutely not gonna fold the same way this fabric does. So once blocked, it's gonna be a lot better, don't worry. But yeah, these extra 2 rows here are absolutely not helping. So yeah, I need to redo the sleeve, first because of that, but also because I completely messed up the taper of the sleeve. I had an idea in mind. I just talked about how I wanted the body to slightly come in like this, with a little rounded shape at the bottom. And I wanted the same on the sleeve. I did a drawing that's going to be way more efficient to explain, but it's a very, very slight, very gentle balloony shape. But to do this, you need to do a little bit of rapid decreases at the cuff, just before you do the cuff. And I just messed up in my calculations. I did way too many decreases on the sleeve, so I didn't have enough stitches to do a rapid decrease at the cuff. So I only did like 4 decreases before the cuff, which does basically nothing, despite also going down a needle size for the folded over hem detail. And I just have a straight sleeve, and it's absolutely not what I wanted. I wanted the cute, subtle, balloony shape. So I need to redo the sleeve with less decreases. It's fine. It's a big gauge, it went pretty fast, but yeah, just one more thing I need to frog, which is super annoying. But anyway, that's how it is. The yarn, I forgot to mention. I'm way too hot, I'm sorry. The yarn is, I'm holding 2 strands together. The first one is Boucle Laine Mont d'Arrêt Diquet. This is the skein that has a tag. It's written kind of in every direction, but yeah, this is the tag. So Boucle Laine Mont d'Arrêt, and the colorway is Blanc Naturel. You cannot get this dyed, by the way, but you can get it mordanted so that you can naturally dye it, which is super sweet, I think. So this one is the not mordanted version, but if you want, you can get it prepared so that you can just apply it in a bath of natural dye and color it yourself, if you would like to. which I have zero interest in, and I wanted a white cardigan anyway, so I didn't do that, but yeah. And also, fun fact, you can get either 100 gram skeins or 90 gram skeins. I don't know why, this sounds super weird. Like sometimes you can get 100 grams or 50 grams, but 100 grams and 90 grams was a bit weird. But I did get 5 90 gram skeins instead of 100 grams, which allowed me to stay just under the threshold that would have made me pay for taxes. So I paid a lot less for this yarn because I didn't have to pay for taxes because I could buy 90 gram skeins instead of 100 grams. And I have more than enough yarn, by the way. And also, it's a detail, but everything is in the detail for me. I received 5 skeins of this and only one of them had a tag. And I'm like, yes, thank you. I don't need 5 tags for the same yarn. So this is the only skein that has a tag and I'm just keeping it at the end. And if I use it, I only have 1 tag and I don't have to throw away 4 others. Like, it's just the small things. Anyway, I'm holding it with a Holst Titicaca, which is 100% alpaca lace weight. Because I wanted the fabric to be a little bit softer than just the... It's quite a rustic yarn. It's very textured. It's kind of itchy when it's not blocked. It's summer, and I don't know about you, but in summer I very rarely wear clothes because it's super hot. So yes, I'm naked at home. So when I'm naked in the couch, I mean in underwear, I have this resting on my thigh, on my lap, and it's mega itchy. But this one is not. I did the test. I put this in my tea, in one of the rare occasions where I had a tea at home, and I put it inside like this, and it was fine. It wasn't itchy, even though I was pretty hot. So I hope this is going to soften up a lot with blocking. It should, because this one did, so there is no reason this one wouldn't. But yeah, it's as is, it's very itchy. So I'm just trying to trust the process. Yeah, so that's about the yarn. And about the sizing, honestly, I have no idea what size I'm knitting. At this point, I'm kind of giving up on trying to tell you what size I'm knitting because it's such a mess. My proportions are completely off the charts anyway, so even if I tell you I'm knitting size 2, it's the way as the true size 2 is going to fit me is absolutely not the way it's going to fit you if you're a more standard body than mine. So it just doesn't make any sense to share this information. Because in the end what I ended up doing is like size 4 or 5 for the back, and I did a few short rows to lengthen this part without lengthening the front here. So the front is like size 2, I think, and then I did the underarm increases of size 1 or something, I don't know, I did a big mashup. It's completely different, and I followed the length of whatever size, I don't even remember which one, but it's a big mashup. Like I don't have one size that I follow for the whole thing because I just can't do that. Otherwise I end up with stuff that don't fit me like this. So in the end, this fits me like a size 2 would fit you if you have a standard sized body, basically. But also this is not blocked, so it's not really helpful. Yeah, so that's about the sizing. Sorry if I'm not helpful at all. I'm trying my best, but yeah, it's just how it is. I have started adding the double knit band here. And I just wanted to mention that this is not how it's going to be made in the pattern in itself, because I had to do things a little bit differently because I wasn't done with the body. As I told you before, I finished knitting the body until almost the end, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do with the bottom hem, like how much decreases I was going to do, what needle size, I wasn't sure. So it wasn't finished completely, it was until here. And the way you do the button band normally is that you pick up from like this corner, you pick up all the stitches all the way through the other side here, and then you start knitting the button band from this side all the way to the other side like this. And I couldn't do that because my body wasn't finished, so I couldn't just pick up from the corner because there was no corner. So I had to start up here at the middle of the back neck. So I started picking up my stitches from here, and I went all the way to the end of what I had, so about here. I started knitting my double knit button band, and I stopped at the end of the v-neck, and then I frogged the whole body, so I had to frog what I had picked up as well, which means I am now left with this little nugget that's just hanging out here. And I just need to redo the pickup of this little part here so that I can continue the double knit band until the bottom. And then I'm gonna start picking up again. I will start from this corner, which is what you're supposed to do, but I will only pick up until here, and then I'm gonna join the two together. So the result will be exactly the same, except I'm gonna have a little seam here at the back neck that you're not gonna have. But yeah, I had to do things that way because the body wasn't done and I couldn't wait for any longer to do the double knit band because I wanted to know if it was gonna fit or not. And also I did this little detail here. I don't know if you can tell. I'm gonna put it again on the hanger. Here on the back neck, you can maybe tell there is something going on here, and that's because I did short rows inside the double knit band so that the corner here would lay absolutely flat. Because if I hold this like this, you can maybe tell in this corner there is actually almost a right angle like this. There is a little bit of a corner that's softened with some increases, but basically you have a corner of fabric like this, and then the double knit band is just following like that. And if you don't want to have a extra fabric here at the corner that would flap around, you need to do some short rows to soften the corner. And that's what I did. And I'm super happy with how it looks. And that way it just fits flat over the edge here. Because if I hadn't done that, for example, if I try to mimic here like somewhere else, I would have a corner of fabric that would stick out like this, which is a big nope. And I learned this trick in a Lily Kate pattern. She does this a lot with her double knit bands. It was in the two-night top, because when you do the armhole edge in double knitting, you do the short rows here at the bottom so that the fabric doesn't, the double knitting doesn't flare out like this. So that's where I learned that it was possible, and I just used the same trick here. And I'm super happy about it. I love learning new tricks. And I think that's it. So this is currently in tech editing. I think it's almost done. So hopefully I can do the test call on Monday. Hopefully. Fingers crossed if I don't have to frog something again. I think I need the whole thing twice at this point, because the saddles I of course had to start over because the first time I did them the shaping wasn't good. I had to do the front panel 3 times. So in total that's 4 times. I had to do the body twice, and the sleeve I'm going to do twice. Hopefully the second sleeve I can do correctly on the first go. But yeah, that's a lot of knitting the same thing twice for one design. But hopefully it's going to be perfect thanks to all those efforts. And hopefully test call on Monday. Alright, let's talk about my other work in progress, which is very small and very not progressed at all. This is my muscle tank DK version. Oh, it's gonna be difficult to show because everything is on one needle. It's just a piece of fabric. The muscle tank is this design of mine, and it has a similar shape as this one in the front, except the whole point is for it to be square and kind of masculine and kind of slightly aggressive shaping, because it's called the muscle tank and it's made for that. And it's not a cute lacy thing. It's just in my head, okay? I have no doubt this is going to be absolutely perfect for someone else than me with my weird way of thinking, but yeah, in my head it's like that. So I'm doing another version for the DK weight because I had some yarn in stash, and I think this color is going to be perfect for the aggressive look I have in mind for this design. And I finished the back panel, and I just started picking up the front panel here, but it's on the same needle, so yeah, I should have just put it on hold, but whatever. And the yarn I'm using is Studio Linen by Erica Knight, and it's a very drapey, very drapey 100% linen yarn. Super lovely. But this just was on the back burner because I had to knit a lot on the white days, and this is kind of my portable project when I need something small and easy to transport when I'm out and about. But I wasn't a lot out and about these days, so I just didn't really have a chance to work on this one. So yeah, I just didn't make a lot of progress. But it's coming, slowly but surely. It will get done. For the sizing, again, I am also knitting it off gauge because you can. I mean, the pattern includes instruction on how to knit off gauge, so I am knitting it off gauge, but I'm doing like size 10 for the back panel and size 6 or 7 for the front panel. And I did the increases of size 1 for the underarms, so that I get the bust circumference of size 2 or 3. It's a mess, as usual. Alright, now let's talk about my spinning there. As you may know, or may not, it doesn't matter, the first 3 weeks of July were Tour de France, and there is this thing called Tour de Fleece that happens at the same time, which is basically spinners have their wheels spin at the same time as the cyclist has their wheels spin. What? So I tried my best to spin during this time, but I had a lot of stuff to do, so I couldn't really. But last week I finally had a little bit more time, so I managed to spin. So this is... Wait. I had this braid. It's a 200-gram braid of Rambouillet fiber, and I divided it in half lengthwise. And I spun 1/3 on here, 1/3 on here, and I have the last third left here. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a 3-ply or 2-ply. And if I wanted to do a 3-ply, I would have to spin this last third on the third bobbin. But if I wanted to do a 2-ply, I would have to divide this last third onto the 2 existing bobbins so that I have 2 halves. But before taking this decision, I wanted to know how thick I could spin the other yarn I wanted to combine with it in the same project. And it's this one. It's Onyx by Woolen Twine Fiber Studio. It's a Zwartpels and Gotland mix, 50-50. And I'm a very much beginner spinner, so I wasn't sure if I could spin this as fine as I am spinning the Rambouillet, because this is a very beginner-friendly fiber, and I think Gotland and Zwartpels are not particularly beginner-friendly, so I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But I managed to spin a whole 100-gram braid. I mean, not braid, comb top, I guess. So I had 200-gram skeins because they are twisted in a hang form. So I finished spinning the first hank, and funnily enough, I think this was easier to spin for me. I don't know, it's difficult to say. It's very, very, very different because the Gotland is super silky and it kind of slips and slides out of your hands without, it just wants to go on the bobbin by itself, and the fact that I like having a high tension doesn't help because then the fiber gets just pulled out of my hands. But I found this was a lot easier, especially to make it consistent. This is very consistent compared to this, and it went so much faster. Also because I didn't put as much twist in that one. But yeah, it wasn't as difficult as I thought, which is very interesting, and I really enjoyed it. I'm super excited to do the second one already. But since it wasn't that difficult, it's also not that thick. And since I have less twist in this one, and that this won't bloom as much as the Rambouillet will, I think if I do a 2-ply of this, and a 2-ply of this as well, I'm gonna get roughly the same thickness, I think. So this solves my initial dilemma, and I'm gonna divide this last third onto the 2 existing bobbins so that I can do a 2-ply. And I'm just gonna 2-ply everything. So yeah, that's the plan. And yeah, I just find it fascinating how different it is to spin this one compared to the Rambouillet, and also how much easier it was. It's very surprising because I really thought Rambouillet would be so much... I just thought it would be easier, but it's not. Anyway, I just have so much to discover in the spinning world, and it's super exciting, and I knew the sensation would be different, but it's so different. It's such... I can just see a little glimpse of how vast and beautiful the world of spinning is, and it just makes me even more excited than before. So yeah, excited to spin the second hank and to finally ply them together. However, I think I'm gonna play a little bit of bobbin chicken because I only have 6 of those and I have 2 used here. I have this one that's with 100 grams. I'm gonna have another bobbin with the other 100 grams. And I'm not sure I can ply them all onto one bobbin. And if I need 2, that means I'm gonna have 0 left. So, no, actually it's gonna be fine, because if I finish this first, even if I need 2 bobbins to ply this one, I can just take them off the bobbin and do like the twist them into actual hanks of yarn so that I can free the 2 bobbins and I can ply those. No, actually it's gonna be fine, it's okay. Thanks for listening to me speaking out loud my thoughts on this, but yeah, that's my spinning adventures. I'm super excited and I already know what I'm gonna do with the yarn. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be so good. Anyway, that's all for the hand spun. Now, let me talk about my acquisitions. I have 2. The first one is this skein that's very badly hanged because I did it myself. Let me tell you the story behind this. As I mentioned, I did a video about fixing my knits last week, but it was the second video of the series. I'm gonna do this the whole way I talk. And during the first video, I started fixing my ranunculus sweater, which I have here, because the sleeves were too short. And I have it here, so I have cut off one sleeve, it's somewhere down here, and I have prepared to cut off the second sleeve, and I'm adding length, so this is where I started, and I have added this much, but I absolutely didn't have enough yarn at all. I had like a 12 grams leftover nuggets, and it wasn't enough at all. So I went on Ravelry to see if I could find someone that was destashing this yarn, because this is discontinued. This is Linen Quill Worsted by Pearl Soho. Linen Quill fingering weight is very widely available and it won't get discontinued before a while, I think, but the worsted weight is discontinued. And I didn't want to hold 2 strands of fingering together because that's DK and not worsted first, and also because it would have been very visible in the middle of my sleeves. If I had a little bit of double strand of fingering and then the worsted again, I didn't want that. So I went on Ravelry to see if I could find someone that was destashing this yarn. There was one person which I contacted. It was like, I don't know, February or March, something like this, and they didn't answer, which is perfectly okay because like I am myself not a lot on Ravelry, and if I wasn't selling my designs on Ravelry, it would take me probably 2 years to answer to anyone. I didn't even know messages were a thing on Ravelry before I started selling my patterns, so yeah, no shade on them for not answering or anything. Just no luck. It was just someone that wasn't a lot on Ravelry. But a few weeks ago, they answered and I was like, oh my god! So they agreed to send me this skein, and after a few back and forth, I paid for the shipping and the yarn, and the skein is finally here. And the reason it's so not well hanged is because I told them to get cheaper shipping. They could just undo the skein and just like tuck it into a smaller package, because this takes a lot less room than a hank that's twisted on itself like this. So I told them they could unravel the hank, which they did. So I had a very, very small package arriving, and it was pretty cheap, so that's good. But it means that now I have this, but it's fine. I'm gonna cake it pretty soon anyway, so that I can finish this thing and finally be able to wear this sweater again, because I really like it. It's a really cute sweater, my ranunculus. Completely modified, but it's a nice sweater. So yes, this is my first acquisition. It's yarn that someone destashed, so I think I get bonus point for this one. And the next one, I talked about this during my fall knitting plans. I mentioned what designs I was planning on designing during the fall. No, not fall, summer. We are in summer. It's still August. Summer knitting plans. And one of the plans was hoodie with a very specific detail on how the hood would flow into the body. I have a very clear image in mind of what I want to do, and I was still on the hunt for yarn for this one. There is a yarn that I used years ago. I bought it when I was in Korea in 2022. I went into a random yarn store and they had a lot of non-superwash, very fancy yarns. And for the first time, I saw yarns from Harrisville Designs. And it was the Nightshades line. And I got absolutely obsessed with the colorway Last Call, of course, because it's the teal one. If you don't know this line by Harrisville, there is Nightshades and there is Daylight. Daylight is a white base Como wool that's mixed with 10 or 20% of dyed fiber. So you have a white base heathered with colored, and the Nightshades line is the same but with a black base. So you have a black yarn, this one, that's heathered with colored wool, and it's 100% Como wool, American Como, and ever since it's my favorite yarn. I haven't found anything that I like more than this. It's just absolutely unique. It's next to Skin Soft, which is very difficult to find for me, very difficult. And it's next to Skin Soft in any situation. If I'm hot, if I'm cold, if I'm sweating, if it's dirty, if it's clean, if any situation, it's always super soft, super comfortable for me. It's very lightweight, it's a woolen spun yarn, and it's very lofty. This is supposed to be a DK gauge, but the sweater I have in this yarn is more like closer to worsted, I think. I think it's like a 20 stitch gauge. And it's my most worn sweater, and I knit the whole sweater with only 3 skeins of this because it's so lofty and you get so much yardage. Yeah, so I have been wanting to use this yarn again ever since, but Harrisville is in the US and I tend to avoid ordering from the US. I still do. I'm not a saint. I had just been stopping myself from doing it because there are so much beautiful yarns out there, and I was like, I already have a sweater in this yarn. Do I really need another one when there are so many other beautiful things I would like to try? But I finally decided I want this hoodie to be in this yarn. So I bought the colorway Fever Dreams, which is the black heathered with the red. Oh no, it's not focusing. It's heathered with beautiful red flecks. Gorgeous. I'm super excited. And weirdly enough, this one feels a lot softer. I remember when the other one was in a skin form, it was pretty rough. Rough. But this one feels very soft, so I don't know how it's gonna knit up. We'll see. I'm gonna have to swatch because my gauge has probably changed ever since, and this colorway might knit up at a different gauge, I don't know. And since the feel is a little bit different, the gauge might be different. And the best part, I'm glad I waited to get this yarn again because, as you may know, the US dollar is pretty weak these days for obvious reasons because the US is in a difficult situation. So yeah, the US dollar is pretty low. Now is a good time to buy US dollars because they are cheap. But also the Swiss francs is very, very high. And the two combined means that I basically had one skin for free and shipping for free. Because I could get so much dollars out of so little Swiss francs. And I was like, well, it was a good thing that I waited this long because I basically earned $35 for my order. I bought 6 skeins. And yeah, one for free, shipping for free. Not gonna complain. The funny thing is that when I did the summer plans video, as I mentioned, I talked about all the designs I was planning to do during the summer, and funnily enough, I think this hoodie is the one that I got the most comments on. Even though I mentioned so many incredible designs, for some reason, this hoodie was the one, yeah, I don't know why. So I guess you're very excited about the hoodie, and I'm very excited about this yarn. It's gonna be awesome, yeah. I just can't wait. That's all for the yarny stuff. Now, I have tiny bit of life to talk to you about. I did mention a few times during the precedent video that I was working a lot on my pattern designing stuff. And I finally took a few days off last week. So during the weekend, we went on a climbing trip in the van with my boyfriend and a couple of climbing friends. And it was so good. I climbed so much, I climbed so hard. I was absolutely destroyed when I came home, which is exactly how you can tell if the weekend was good or not. I don't know if you noticed, but I also pretty often have bad how do you call that, cuts and marks on my hands. I hope it's not too bothering when I show stuff. I don't realize because I always have bruises and cuts on my hands. It's just how it is, and yeah, I don't always think to hide them when I show stuff, so I'm sorry if it's disgusting for you. But yeah, it was especially brutal last week, but it was so good. I'm so happy. I know quite a lot of you are climbers, so if you're not interested, you're free to leave, by the way. Thank you for watching. I love you, bye. We went to a secret spot that hasn't been released to the public yet. So there was basically no one there because not a lot of people are aware that this place exists, and especially how to access it because the access was pretty difficult. And I climbed, I think I did a 6A first try, that's pretty normal for me, 6B plus first try, and it was a hard 6B plus, I'm pretty happy about that. I did a 7A second try, so I went once, I fell 2 times I think, and then when I came back the next day, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna warm up, I'm gonna stop at every quick draw so I can just look at the holes and see what I'm gonna do. And I just went until the end on the warm-up go, so I was pretty warm up after that. It was brutal, it was hard. But I'm super proud of that. I don't usually do 7A on the second try, especially when I'm warming up. And then I was super psyched and I was like, oh, there is a 7A plus right next to this route, so I'm gonna try that one. I tried 5 times, and the 5 times I fell at the same spot, right under the anchor, at the very end. So I climbed for like 35, 40 meters, and I just fell on the second to last move at the very end. Very frustrating, but it's okay, because the climb was beautiful, I had a lot of fun, and I mainly wanted to get back into the swing of things during this weekend, because I hadn't been climbing a lot during the month of July, hardly climbing at all, and not a lot during June either. So I'm feeling super motivated because I have been so frustrated during the last month and a half that now I'm like, I want to climb everything, even if I fall, even if I fail, I don't care, I just want to climb. Yeah, even though I fell so many times at the very top of this route, I'm just super proud of what I achieved. Everyone told me it's not a 7A plus, it's more like 7B, so that's good for my ego. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, it was super good, I had a good time, and I'm back into the climbing business. And the last news is, it's not a news, it's an announcement, but I'm not sure about it yet. You may remember, if you've been here for a while, since last year basically, that during the month of August I did a very small mini summer vlog series that I called the Summer Knitting Journals. I'm still super proud of those, so if you are curious and haven't seen them, definitely go and take a look. I think I did a pretty good job, not to toot my own horn, but I think the quality is good. The filming, the editing is great. But I completely overworked myself, and it was very unsustainable to try and do a video every day because the quality was so good, and I'm not very used to editing and filming, and it still asks me a lot to do this at a standard that I'm happy with. It's just not natural for me. I still have to think a lot, like where I'm gonna put the camera, what I'm gonna film, and finding the idea of the B-roll I can take. It's just it's not natural, it's difficult for me. I enjoy doing it, but it's difficult. And after 4 days, I was completely worn out. It was like, I'm gonna die if I have to continue doing this, because yeah, I just spent all my free time editing and it was stressing me out, and yeah, it was just a difficult pace. But I enjoyed doing it, and I'm super proud of what I did, and I like doing stuff that I'm proud of, so I would like to do a little summer journal vlog series again, but not with the same conditions that I did last year. So I've been thinking about it for a while, and I think, I'm not sure. I think I will try to do them next week. I don't know if I'll start on Saturday, Sunday or Monday, I'm not sure yet. And I will try to do 1 episode every 2 days. And I will try my best to do shorter episodes, not go too wild on the B-roll. Like, it's okay if there are only 3 different point of views between each moment where I talk. It's okay, I'm not Laura Penrose, I don't need to do super high edited stuff, and I don't have a beautiful house with a garden and cute children that I can film. I just don't have content in my life. So it's okay if I chill out and not film too much. I'm trying to convince myself. I'm not really explaining this to you, I'm trying to convince myself. So yeah, my idea is to do 1 episode every 2 days, which means I can cut down on the editing time and still do something next to the vlog series. And I'm gonna try to do shorter episodes that are not too edited, not too complicated. I don't know. It's the idea. I'm still not 100% sure because I still have a lot of work to do on the white day cardigan, and I wanted to spin, and I just don't want the vlog series to become the next source of frustration in my life, which is why I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna do it yet. I will have to see how far I can go with the test call and all of that, and see if I can actually squeeze it in my program next week. But that's my goal. It would be lovely. So let me know if you're interested. If you don't care, please tell me as well. Anyway, that's what's coming next week. And that's all for today. So, thanks a lot for watching. Thank you for being here until the end. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being here. I love you. Happy knitting. And see you maybe Monday, maybe this weekend. I don't even know. I'll see you next time. Bye.